I'm the executive chef at Calvin Rodwell Elementary School. At Calvin Rodwell Elementary School, we have a culinary program where we teach the children healthy eating. We are also supporting the campaign against obesity, but this is also an culinary arts class that incorporates their studies, their social studies, their reading, their math, and their sciences are all challenged and channeled through culinary arts. We've explored the art of Asian cooking, Italian cooking, and French cooking so far. We had a team last year that's kind of seasoned, but we've got some new students this year that are on our team. They're going to introduce themselves. They prepared some finger foods for you today. Just keep in mind, some of the students just started and are not as well seasoned as others. Okay, so I want to introduce you. Quickly. Move down, quick. One time, come on. Chefs, quick.
Good morning. My name is Bree. Today we will be preparing for you two appetizers. The first one will be a spinach tart. We will saute the spinach, and we have garlic, scallions, and cheese. Now I will introduce you my co-captain, Mary.
Good morning. My name is Mary. I am the co-captain of the Calvin Rodwell Culinary Arts Cooking Team. I would like to introduce to you my teammates.
To create opportunities for our students. So out of that process over the past 4 or 5 years, that's where Baltimore City has really started taking a very close look at its cafeterias as a place in our students' day where we're not fully honoring them, where we're not fully creating the opportunities for them that we can. And out of that process of looking very closely at our cafeterias and the value that food can bring into our students' lives, we started recognizing all of these other resources that we had lying around the district that we weren't maximizing for our students, and this place was one of them. So this place has a 100-year history, but it started in 1912 of engaging young people in innovative ways, first as an orphanage, then as a nature study horticultural skills center, then as a school, and now as a farm, right? As we started kicking up that history out here and realizing the wealth of underused spaces like the Bragg Nature Study Center, we started seeing all kinds of other opportunities in our students' day, in their schoolyard, in their classroom, to really leverage the value of what we call living educational tools. So we have 14 living educational systems at the farm. Everything here is calibrated to maximize educational opportunity through its cultivation and through its end use, whether that's consumption or distribution and marketing. So we have chickens, we have bees, we have goats, we have worms, we have mushrooms down in the forest. We have 20-some acres of forest with streams and ponds and deer and fox. We grow cut flowers, we grow microgreens, we grow things like ginger, we have wildflowers, we have demonstration gardens. All of that is a mouthful, but taken as pieces, it's all very simple. It inhabits a relatively small space of our 33 acres. It's extraordinarily inexpensive to get going, and these are regenerative systems. So as they develop, they have this self-sustaining wellness, where they're easier to cultivate, and then they have this self-sustaining product, whether they're offsetting costs in our classrooms by providing ingredients for food education, or whether we're selling them to actually make money to reinvest in the program. So that's kind of the ethos, right? That's the bigger picture stuff, and we'll walk through the fun nitty-gritty. But first I want to introduce you to the most important living system we have out here is people, and students in particular. And so from day one, when this was an abandoned nature study center, when we got here in November of 2008, students came out here December 12th was our first field trip in 2008. It was freezing cold, there was snow on the ground, it was an ugly place to be, and we had 13 students from Digital Harbor who helped us start cleaning it up, right? And that was a lesson about how we use our hands together to create a space that's healthful and verdant from one that doesn't look that way.
My name's Trey, and I started out at the farm in June, earlier this summer. But I didn't start out at the farm as in something I was looking forward to do. You could kind of say I fell into it. see, I kind of started off in construction, and unfortunately they didn't hire me. And I found out about this job and the things that I could learn from it, and I took the chance on wanting to find out about agriculture and stuff. And I had a lot of hard times and good times, which I'll tell you later on in the tour. But yeah.
Tell them what you told me on the way over here about your neighbors' yards.
Ever since after I stopped coming out to the farmers frequent, when I walk past my neighbors' yards and stuff, and I know the vegetables that are in there, I usually always stop and name all of them, so it's kind of like a habit now.
And so Trey and Kesia came to us as employees. They came to us as work-based learning students. So they didn't come to an agricultural program. They came in an unconventional way. So they have very humorous and very real insights to the way it is to come into a space where it's not what they chose, right? They didn't say this summer, I want to be a farmer. You know? They're here, and I think their story is really about how we as a community take advantage of all of these tools that we're less familiar with. Lay it on.
So my name is Kesia. I started out as a job. I found out through one of my teachers, and it was supposed to be just at the farmer's market. But then when I found out you can get more hours, get more money, I came out here. It was hard, it was hot, but I liked it.
Tell them what you don't like about the hill. Tell them about the hill.
Oh my gosh, that hill down there, and then you gotta walk back up.
There's a hill that goes down through our forest. And about 3 weeks into working with Kesia, we had them out of the farm, so when they were at the farmer's market, they really knew what they were selling. They owned it. And they felt it. And they would take it home and eat it, right? That's the whole cycle. But so a few weeks in, we learned from Kesia did not like walking across the hill. This is one of the spaces where we can really crack open some of the successes we've had with living educational systems. So what we have here, this is obviously a greenhouse. We're growing some seedlings over here. We'll talk about what these are in a second, but just from here down to where Kesia is standing is one of our living educational systems. We call it microgreens. So these are young greens that we harvest at their first true leaf stage, right? This is about, maybe 200 square feet. This living educational system does a lot of things for us. And to give you an example of how everything else on the farm works, the microgreens are here first and foremost because of their educational value. So any week of the year, 52 weeks of the year, we can walk in here, we can talk about cotyledons, which are these first little leaves here. We can talk about true leaves, we can talk about seed germination. We can plant seeds every week, we can taste things every week. We can taste the difference between radish and mizuna and mustard and cabbage. We can talk about color and pigments and chemicals that are in leaves with our older students. So constantly, we have an educational platform for field trips and for students that are coming out here on that short basis. For our older students, they can manage this system. So during the summer, our students are seeding this, they're harvesting this, and then it gets to the next layer of why we have things out here. Second, this is transferable to any classroom on a one tray, 10-inch by 20-inch scale. It's transferable to any urban environment on an entrepreneurial scale. So we're modeling businesses that our students can take up in their back room, in their backyard. And on the third level, and the microgreens probably do this alongside the vegetables more than any of the other 14 living systems, it creates sustainability for our program. It creates a funding stream that gives us another leg besides fundraising and student tide funding. So this 400 square feet that we invest maybe 4 hours in a week will generate for the farm this year $25,000 in revenue. Wow. Not bad, right? And that makes a big difference because our systems are inexpensive to manage. All of our programming, all of the living things more or less pay for themselves. It's our staff time and our infrastructure that we take care of with our other funding streams. The other thing that we're able to do then is we really leverage the relationships that we create with these to get our chefs. We work with 3 chefs only. We're not out looking for hundreds of chefs and hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's enough to sustain this, but our 3 chefs, all of them open up their restaurants as a classroom for our students to come on field trips. All of them participate in coming out to the farm and working with our students. Our students have gone down and shaped bread, they've baked pizzas, they've eaten oysters for the first time. And we're talking about students who grew up in the Chesapeake Bay watershed, right? One of the most bountiful water bodies in the world that had never eaten oysters, right? This is their wealth. this is their place. And so we're able to take really simple systems, looking tools that it really works. These are perennial herbs that we're giving away to schoolyard gardens. So we purposefully overproduce. All of these herbs we grow to plant around our farm here, so when field trips come, they can smell them and we can talk about essential oils and whatever the lesson of the day happens to be, pollination, natives, whatever we're working on. We plant way more than we need because it doesn't cost us any extra. We already have the plant material, we're already out here in the infrastructure, we already have the staff going on, so we plant 10% extra, 20% extra, and then we give it away. So that works right now with perennial herbs. During the rest of the season, it works with vegetable seedlings. We give away compost to schoolyard gardens, and we give away, right now we just installed our composting worms, our large-scale system, so that we can begin giving away worms, we can begin giving away worm castings. And those are, in addition to the certifications, in addition to the food that we eat, just having a system, an educational tool that really produces bounty is such an advantage. Textbooks don't make more textbooks. And textbooks are really valuable tools, right? But this is one strength of this tool. So if you're interested in working with these, so through the materials that we supply to them, we've also written up schoolyard planting schedules specific for Baltimore City. So if you're a teacher, and we'll talk about this a lot more when we get back to the schoolyard garden, we have great teachers who aren't great gardeners.